Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday message for May 15th of 2022. For those of us who attend Unity, we know our statement. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives, God, the good, omnipotent. But how many of us actually really believe that, truthfully? Or how many of us still believe that there is a God that is all powerful, all knowing, and present everywhere? And there is also lack, limitation, illness, et cetera, still in the world. And here's where the answer to that gets real. We know with our entire beings at a certain level within ourselves that there really is only one presence and one power. However, what we see around us doesn't support that knowingness. We see war, we see sickness, heartache, struggle, and we ask the question, where is God in that? And the answer is right in the midst of it all, right inside of each and every one of us. Only at some level, we really don't believe it. We can't really see it outside of us all the time. So there's that part of us that doesn't believe it. But you won't believe it until you begin to see everything around you different. In the book, The Way of Mastery, it talks about how everything is neutral, not good, not bad. No judgment of anything or anyone. And in the last section of the book, it states that we are co-creators on this earth. And to create clearly, we need to begin to see the world around us without judgment. To become neutral on all events happening around us. And my question is, how in the heck are we supposed to do that? Judging nothing as good or bad when we see so much that is wrong in this world. But Joel Goldsmith gave us a great example in his book, The Thunder of Silence. He wrote, the practice of seeing neither good nor bad can begin at this very moment with any object or person that comes within range of your vision. It's simpler to begin the practice with some object or person with whom you are not emotionally involved. So this past Sunday, we had Mother's Day, and a lot of us received a bouquet of flowers for that very special day. My son gave me this absolutely beautiful bouquet of multicolored roses, and to me, they were absolutely beautiful. I loved how they looked, and oh God, I loved how they smelled. They were, to me, they were awesome. But when I got home, and was really thinking about this talk, having already written most of it, I realized that I had passed judgment on the roses. I called them beautiful, therefore they were good. When in actuality, the roses were just roses. Goldsmith wrote, acknowledge that these flowers in and of themselves have no power whatsoever. They are not good flowers and they are not bad flowers. So, we might be willing to admit that they're not bad, but you might begin to wonder why they're not good. And the answer is they're not good in the sense that good is embodied in them. The good is in the consciousness of the person who gave you the flowers, because that good is love. Love is good. Love is invisible and it's spiritual. Love is the substance that sent these flowers to you. Love is that invisible thing which these flowers are the visible expression of. So if you were to call these flowers good, and then in 3 or 4 days they faded and were gone, you would have lost your good. But since their only real value was in who gave them to you, of the love behind the giving of them, then it makes no difference what happens to them. Because when the flowers themselves fade and are gone, the good, the love, the appreciation, which they were an expression of, will remain. However, let's say that you have hay fever, so now someone's still out of the love of their heart gives you this beautiful bouquet of roses, and you start sneezing and sneezing. That same bouquet now becomes bad. You can't have them around you. You can't take in the love from the person who gave them to you, because you're wanting to push away the gift that was given. You're sending out the vibration of anger about the roses, maybe, giving you this reaction. Maybe even fear that the reaction is going to last. Maybe even a sense of hatred toward the roses for doing this to you. And yet, this entire time, the roses were just the roses, being what they were created to be. They of themselves are neither good nor bad. As Goldsmith wrote, the value of the object lies in the love around them, which is invisible and which prompted its coming into your experience. So you can call the flowers beautiful, but they are only beautiful because of your interpretation of them. Or you can call them horrible if you're allergic to them. But once again, it's still only your interpretation of them. They of themselves are still just roses, neither good nor bad, but just roses. Goldsmith wrote, and as you sit there contemplating them, convinced that these flowers are neither beautiful nor ugly, good nor bad, suddenly into that vacuum which you have created will come the awareness of what it is you are looking at. And then you will find that it is much more than a bouquet of roses. And you will be led to this conclusion: roses, roses, you are nothing. Using the unconditioned mind as an instrument, Source created you in its image and likeness. Source gave you your color, form, beauty, and perfume. And therefore, you are not good. You are not bad. You are perfect. Of yourself, you are nothing. But by the virtue of the grace of God, you are perfect. And he went on to wrote, gradually it will be revealed to you that these flowers are the very form of God itself, placed here in your room for some miraculous purpose, as a part of the allness and fullness and completeness of God in its beauty and essence. So once you begin to see the things around you from that perspective, you can actually begin to see more and more things from that neutral standpoint, the standpoint that everything and everyone around you is a part of the allness and fullness and completeness of God in its beauty and essence. Does everyone and everything express that fullness? Well, no. But what we become aware of is that at its core, it is the allness and fullness of God. Maybe not in expression, but at its core. And that in itself can help us move to that place where we begin to judge less and less about the things around us. Goldsmith wrote, glorify the creator of all form. And when you do that, You have only God power in you. And for that one brief second, you will be right back in the Garden of Eden, where there is not a single problem, whereas there is not a force or power acting upon you negatively or positively. There is not good nor bad. You are just suspended in an atmosphere of peace. There is nothing good or bad in that itself. And in that state of consciousness, there would be nothing for you to judge. In that state, everything is neutral. And from that standpoint, you can then choose to enjoy the life around you with everything that comes your way. If we could remember that we are spiritual beings and have come down to this earth to experience the earth plane of existence, it would actually assist us in taking our minds off of what's going on around us and help us to stay within ourselves. Blessing source for all the things we're experiencing. In the Way of Mastery, it even gives the statement, look around you. Wow, I chose to experience this. That's something. Okay, I'm experiencing this. How do I feel about that? Nah, I don't care to experience that again. Or you could be saying, I like that. I think I will experience that again. But once again, no judgment, no good, no bad. And Goldsmith wrote, let us begin where we are at this particular moment and let our spiritual unfoldment begin with the understanding that since God is the principle of this universe, it is perfect. A star is a star, a rose is a rose, a dog is a dog, and a moon is a moon is a moon. But let us not call them good, and let us not call them, let us call them by their names. Star, rose, dog, moon. And we shall find that God will reveal their nature to us in the correct place and function they are to occupy and perform in our experience. Everything in the universe emanates from God, whether we or they acknowledge it. What creates and perpetrates humanhood, according to Goldsmith, is the pairs of opposites, the belief that flowers are good, but the weeds are bad, the belief that the birds are good, but the bugs on the plants are bad. If we recognize that all that exists is pure soul, infinitely expressing itself, eventually even the bugs on the plant in their rightful place in life. So just remember, a rose is just a rose, is just a rose, is just a rose. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just a creation of source on this planet, and so are you. Much love, everyone. Have a beautiful and wonderful week. And just remember, everyone, everything around you is just what they are. Is just a person is a person. A rose is a rose, a plant. God bless. Much love.